lovely choice to pick my room, other than some, like, fancy restaurant, like the Yard House, or— Fuck you!
Yeah, that was a waste of time. Oh yeah, what else is on my to-do list for today? Sit down, crap, go on a date with Mario Kart Double Dash and talk about stupid bad video games. Oh yeah, that's right, I did promise I was going to talk about a bad game. Well, I guess since I'm sitting next to Mario Kart Double Dash, I might as well have to talk about the Mario Kart series. But, is there any bad ones? I don't remember. Oh, that one. Super Mario Kart is certainly a video game, alright. Being released in August of 1992, it revolutionized the entire kart racing genre forever, and remains as one of Nintendo's most popular game series. But do we regard Super Mario Kart as one of the best kart racers ever?
Not possible!
There isn't very much praise shown for the more older Mario Kart titles, as they're definitely overshadowed by Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which just keeps on selling. But I want to know why. Why are these games just not talked about much anymore? And why are they considered not too great as a result? This question I plan to solve, maybe, through thorough and deep research, probably. Well, what's a better place to start at with none other than the gameplay itself? Super Mario Kart is a racing game to some, but I see it as a game about 8 homicidal maniacs who somehow defy any legal action by racing upon private property without permission. It's also aged about as well as a soft turd on a hot Tuesday afternoon. So each cup is separated by 5 tracks respectively, which all range in difficulty, but sometimes this game's difficulty just goes from 1 to a million in the fraction of a second, especially on higher CC levels. This is mostly thanks to the fact that controlling any of the 8 characters is pure and utter torture, no matter how good you are at drifting. Most of the time, drifting doesn't benefit you in the slightest, making you careen into a golf course-sized patch of grass. You either go way too hard on a turn or way too soft on a turn. There's no in-between unless you have the patience of a saint. And due to these awful, awful controls, I haven't been able to beat the game properly. And this game still is only the only console Mario Kart game that I haven't been able to beat properly. And even if this game did have good controls, I would get pretty bored of it fast due to how bland and repetitive the tracks are at some points. Half of them are just sort of the same thing with altered layouts, and I don't think I want to endure more than 3 Mario circuits, thank you.
It's me, an idiot!
But thankfully, all of these major flaws were pretty much fixed entirely in its sequel, Mario Kart 64. So starting off, the only 2 characters that got replaced were Donkey Kong Jr., and Wario took his place, and Koopa got replaced with Donkey Kong. With these 2 characters gone, I think that this is the true base for any Mario Kart roster. Just these 3 characters alone were quite solid. Donkey Kong Jr. represents Donkey Kong Jr. math, and I want nothing to do with that. Get out of my game. But the newly refurbished character roster isn't the only thing that was changed. The graphics also look much nicer, but by today's standards, they look pretty aged. The kart racers aren't even 3D, they're just 2D sprites. Well, aside from the graphics, the game's difficulty has also been rolled down a notch, making it actually humanly possible to beat this game properly without busting a vein on your head. This is probably because the actual track design this time is a lot less hectic with its tight turns and nonsensical placement, and while sometimes this feels completely fine, there are various points where you're just drifting aimlessly like a bored person. Unfortunately, I feel like most of the tracks in this game feel a little empty and boring at most points. Wario Stadium, Royal Raceway, Donkey Kong's Jungle Parkway, and Yoshi Valley, just to name a few. They just have big, empty stretches of road, with the only thing making it more entertaining is the item balance. But all of that doesn't remove the fact that you can now play with everybody. Too bad the frame rate is about as slow as a diseased slug with more than 3 players.
Just talk about me already.
This game is pretty much the best Mario Kart game out there, having easily the most fun tracks and item customization. Everything just feels like it has a right to be what and where it is in the game, especially the character and kart customization. While not as fleshed out as Mario Kart 8's customization, Double Dash gives you pretty simple and straightforward choices for your two characters of choice, and cart. Each character has special items which are only used by them, which vary in terms of usefulness. However, this feature just doesn't apply to PD Piranha and King Boo, because they could use whatever the heck they want. Like two insane children that just get thrown into the McDonald's play place and destroy everything in sight. It's like that one episode of Clarence. There are just shells and stuff flying everywhere, and it's great. Never once does it feel unfair unless if you're trying to unlock everything, then it feels kind of irritating because the CPUs here and in Mario Kart Wii are just ruthless beasts of destruction. I realize that I haven't been bringing up the battle mode at all yet, but that's because none of them were all something that I look forward to playing in each Mario Kart, mostly because I mainly play single player. However, Double Dash has the only one that's actually really worth playing if you don't have 8 Deluxe. And I'd be very surprised if you didn't. You see, unlike most of the Mario Kart games, Double Dash actually has a battle mode that's fun. Because I want you to compare this to this. You see the difference? Alright, so I'm done with looking at every Mario Kart game I care about. Is there anything else that I should be looking at? Like, can I finally look at a real bad game? I guess if you count like Runbow or something, but I think like 13 people have heard about that game in existence, so whatever.